Hello and welcome to Mountain Patriot Homestead. It's a special day and we're glad that you're here to join with us. Today is Father's Day, and in order to celebrate this day for my hardworking man, I wanted to make him a special meal, and I know that he really likes baby back ribs. So that's what we're making today. And I started out by just peeling off that silver skin that's on the underside of baby back ribs, because if you don't get that peeled off, it really doesn't tender up as you cook it. So I pull that off and throw that away because we just don't want that with our ribs. Once that silver skin is pulled off and I have the ribs patted dry, the next step is to make my homemade dry rub. My dry rub recipes change every time I make them because they're just purely off the cuff and made up as I go. Now this is about a cup and a half of dried dehydrated tomatoes that I make from my tomatoes out of the garden. And to that, I'm going to add just some salt, and I've got the Himalayan pink salt is just what I'm using. And this is just to taste. It may be a few teaspoons of that I'm putting in my tomato powder. And next is just sprinkling in some paprika. Again, what I think our taste is, no measuring here, maybe around a tablespoon, tablespoon and a half. Same with the garlic powder. I'm just sprinkling some garlic powder in there. As you can see, I'm putting in what we like, and that's what I suggest you do for any of your dry rubs. Just experiment with them. Some black pepper, exactly the same thing, just to taste. I go a little heavier with the black pepper because that makes it really good in a barbecue rub or sauce, either one. And I'm just going to mix that up, but I'm not quite done because I have one other ingredient. Since it's pork, I'm going to put a little bit of brown sugar in there, and by a little bit, I don't mean just a little bit. I put a goodly amount in there, and then I mix it up well. And this is going to go onto those ribs on both sides in a pretty thick layer. The ribs are dried, and I am going to get this sprinkled. And as I said, I do put it on pretty heavy, but I want to make sure that I get all of the exposed meat covered so it soaks into the meat and it doesn't dry out, because that is really where the flavor is going to come from, as it pretty much saturates that meat. While the meat's being prepared, the Pit Boss smoker that we've got is being preheated. Got it preheating to 200 degrees because the first 2 hours is going to be the good smoke layer that's going to be happening with these ribs. And they are looking really good just with that rub. but when they spend a couple of hours in there at 200 degrees, that smoke is gonna make them perfect. And I'm using bourbon barbecue pellets for this. After spending 2 hours at 200 degrees in the smoke, we're just going to take them off because the next step is going to up the cooking process, but it is going to give it moisture. Now, I'm supposed to be using apple juice, but I don't have any apple juice, so I'm using what I have, and that is a strawberry watermelon juice. I know that sounds really weird, but strawberry and watermelon, it's a fruit. Fruit goes good with pork, and I am taking a chance and using a cup of that in place of apple juice. Just going to pour it in here on my ribs. Going to make a tent out of this aluminum foil that I've got on there. And they're going to cook for another 2 hours at 250 degrees in this juice steam bath. Now, I could have made a homemade sauce, but I'm just going to go with this sweet honey sauce because I think it's going to complement the fruit flavors of that juice. But the ribs have come out after 2 hours. I have drained the juice off of these. I'm going to put the barbecue sauce on top, put it back onto the pellet grill, and let that cook at 350 degrees. I could have put it on for 15 minutes, but these were already so tender and I didn't want them to dry, so I only put them in there for 10 minutes, and here in a second you're going to see how they turned out. And here is the final product. After 10 minutes at 350 degrees, they are perfectly caramelized. I didn't want that sugar in the barbecue sauce to burn, so I went on ahead and took them off, let them rest for a few minutes, and then it is time to chow down. Now, I'm not the most elegant at cutting anything, and particularly ribs. I just kind of get in there, and if they're tender, they're coming apart. And I pretty much didn't need this little old knife because they were tender. There's still a little pull on them like you want, but not enough it's going to pull your dentures out if you got false teeth. Well, it got done, and now we are going to have the official taste test from the Father's Day boy that these were made for, and hopefully they turned out okay.
Messy but excellent.
Well, happy Father's Day, dear. I love you.
I love you. Thank you.
You're welcome. So there you go, Father's Day here at Mountain Patriot Homestead. And I wish every father out there a wonderful Father's Day. You are loved, and all of you are loved, and come back again real soon to Mountain Patriot Homestead.